Jain students, myself Praveen Kumar, Assistant Professor in AKGEC, Ghaziabad, and today we are going to discuss the subject that is renewable energy resources. Subject code is KOE 074. So as far as the today's topic is concerned, we are basically going to discuss a brief overview of the solar thermal power plant, or you can say we are going to discuss the solar thermal power plant concepts. So let us start the discussion for the today's lecture. So as far as the contents of the today's video lectures are concerned, we basically discuss about a brief introduction about solar power generation, a little bit about the history, types of solar thermal power system, then working principle, on which principle the solar power generation works, then thermal energy storage, you can say in short TES, and at last, before concluding our today's video lectures, we will also discuss about the advantages and the disadvantages of the solar thermal energy which is generated with the help of solar thermal power plants and conserved with the help of thermal energy storage. And at last, I have some references with the help of which I prepare today's video lecture slides. Okay, so let us start the discussion. So first, introduction. So solar power generation. So as you know that the sun energy is abundant, available free of cost to the human beings. So there are mainly two ways to generating energy from the sun, or you can say solar rays, sunlight. Okay, so one is the photovoltaic approach, another one is the concentrating solar thermal, that is CST, concentrating solar thermal. So as far as the photovoltaic is concerned, it basically converts sunlight directly into electricity with the help of solar cellars, or you can say solar panels, in which solar module are mounted on the rooftop or at a place where the direct sunlight contact is there. So this is a typical diagram. But when you talk about the concentrating solar thermal, then generating electricity indirectly. So here basically we are going to generate the electricity indirectly, not directly. So we will discuss in today's lecture this concept. So generating electricity indirectly, that is concentrating solar thermal. Okay, so let us start. So before we go into the detail about the solar thermal power generation concept, a little bit about the history. So where it is started. So in 1866, so you can see it started about 155 years before. Auguste Mauchut used a parabolic trough to produce steam for the first solar steam engine. So you can say Auguste is the first person who introduced about the solar steam engine concept in 1866, or you can say around 155 years before. In 1886, 20 years after that, the first patent for the solar collector was obtained by the Italian Alessandro Battaglia, and that is basically in Genoa, Italy. So Alessandro Battaglia basically applied for the patent 20 years after the Auguste basically produced the steam for the first solar engine. And then in the early 90s, in 1913, Frank Sockman finished a 55 horsepower parabolic solar thermal energy station in Madi, that is Egypt, for irrigation purpose. And after that, in 1929, the first solar power system using a mirror dish was built by the American scientist, that is Dr. R.H. Goddard. Okay, and then if you talk about the last 50 years, so in 1968, the first concentrated solar power plant which basically entered into operation in Centenario near Genoa, Italy, and in 1981, you can say around 40 years before, the 10 megawatt solar one power tower was produced and developed by Southern California. And in 1984, the parabolic technology of the solar energy generating system, that is SEGS, solar energy generating system, began its combined capacity, which is 354 megawatt. And if you talk about in last 10 years in development, in 2014, the world largest solar thermal power plant, that is 392 megawatt, achieved commercial operation in Iwam, California, USA. Okay, so this is a little bit about the history. So if you talk about the concept, basic concept of the solar thermal system, so basically if you broadly classify them, then you can see that solar thermal system are basically of two type. One is the passive one, another one is the active one. Okay, so in case of passive one, a passive system basically require no equipment, you can say, or you can say just like this is example, when the heat is built inside your car, when it is left park in the sunlight contact directly. So example of this is thermal chimney. Okay, then another one is the solar thermal system is active system. So an active system basically requires some way to absorb the energy and collect solar radiation and then store it. An example of this one is solar thermal power plant. So you can say solar thermal power plants basically comes under the active category of the solar thermal power generation system. So we are basically going to discuss about this solar thermal power plants. So as far as the basic working principle is concerned, basically here what is our motive? Our motive is to basically use the heat to make the steam from the water, and then the turbine are operated, or you can say rotated with the help of that steam, and that convert finally into the electricity. So here for the increasing the efficiency we use mirror. So mirror basically reflect and concentrate the sunlight toward the targeted areas, and basically we have receivers which collect that solar energy which is directed toward a particular point and then convert it into heat energy. Okay, so then a generator can be used to produce electricity from this heat energy. So this is basically a very simple diagram. This one is basically a very simple diagram which basically explain the working principle of solar thermal power generation basic concept. So we have sun, then we have some mirrors which are, you can say, a particular area focusing mirrors. Then we have salt, you can say, which get hot due to the concentrated sun rays, and ultimately our water is inside the tank, so it's also get hotted, and when it is boiled above 100 degrees Celsius or at 100 degrees Celsius, it convert into steam, and then steam is used to run the turbines, and basically that turbines basically convert the steam into the electrical energy, and we get the power as per our requirement. So we can use this power for the residential purpose or for the commercial purpose. But the point is, when we require it for the commercial purpose, then the power requirement is in megawatts, you can say. But when we require at home or general purpose, we require it in kilowatt. So high power is required for running the industries. So this is the basic working principle of solar thermal power plants. So the next point comes into picture is that how to store that energy. So for that we have thermal energy storage system, you can say TES, thermal energy storage system. So now the points rise, what are TES or thermal energy storage system? So it is clarified from the name itself. Thermal energy storage system are basically high pressure liquid storage tank, and they are used along with a solar thermal system which allow to bank several hours of potential energy storage at a particular point or at a particular plant, you can say. So basically thermal energy storage system are of three subtypes. You can see here. First one is the two tank direct system, second one is the two tank indirect system, and third one is the single tank thermocline system. So if you talk about the two tank direct system, this one, then here solar thermal energy is basically stored right in the same heat transfer fluid that collected it. So it is directly one-to-way communication or one-to-way energy conversion type system, you can say. In two tank indirect system, the function are basically the same as two tank direct system, as the direct system, except there is some smaller change that it work with different types of heat transfer fluids, different types of heat transfer fluid rather than using single type of fluid. And in case of single tank thermocline system, it basically store the thermal energy as a solid, you can say, or usually silica sand, in the form of silica sand. So these are the popular types of thermal energy storage system. We can store the energy. Okay. So if you talk about the types of solar thermal power plants, so basically I am going to cover the most popular three power plants in today's lectures. So first one is the parabolic trough system, second one is the solar power tower system, and third one is the solar dish, or you can say engine system, solar dish system or solar engine system. So in parabolic trough system, you have a parabolic type, you can say mirror, and we have some receiver and we have some concentrator. We will see it about this in the coming slides. In case of solar power tower system, as the name suggests, we have a central receiver which look like a tower, and we have several mirrors installed at the base of the tower, surrounding the tower, you can say. And when the sunlight directly comes into these mirrors, then they are concentrating their reflection beam at a particular point of this central receiver which look like a tower. So this is not a communication tower or mobile tower. This is basically solar power tower, which is basically used to gather the solar power and then convert it into electricity. In case of solar dish engine system, we have a parabolic dish type, just like our DTH system, direct to home system type dish is there, and we have a solar receiver, or you can say reactor. This is solar receiver reactor. So this one is, this part is solar receiver reactor. Solar receiver reactor. Okay, so this one is solar receiver reactor, and this one is sun, from which the energy directly comes toward this parabolic dish. This is parabolic dish. Okay, so let us discuss about these three types in brief, one by one. So first one is the parabolic trough system. So first one is the parabolic trough system, which is a subtype of solar thermal power station. So in case of a parabolic trough system, it basically consists of a linear parabolic reflector, as we see in the previous slide pictures also, that basically concentrate light onto a receiver which is basically positioned along the reflector focal line, you can say focus length, just like our when we take the pictures inside a professional studios, then when we do the exact or you can say correct focus, then we get the more clarity or the more clear image. Same type is there when we position the receiver along the reflector focal line, then our, you can say, maximum power point tracking, which is a common term in solar power, maximum power point tracking, or you can say MPPT. So to achieve this maximum power point tracking concept, we have made such an arrangement that the concentrator basically position along the reflector focal line exactly, accurately. so that we hardly require maximum power point tracking, because power is maximally received by the reflectors. The next is, the receiver is a tube basically positioned directly above the middle of the parabolic mirror and filled with a working fluid, which get it heated and converted into the steam, you can say. Then the reflector follow the sun during the daylight hours by tracking along a single axis, and a working fluid, for example the molten salt, is heated to 150 to 350 degrees Celsius, or you can say, if you talk about in Kelvin term, 423 to 623 Kelvin, or you can say in Fahrenheit term 302 to 662 Fahrenheit, as it flow through the receiver and is then used as a heat source for a power generation system. So this is basically parabolic trough system working. So this is the pictorial representation or diagram representation of the parabolic trough system. Okay. So this is parabolic trough system. So you can see here we have sun and we have parabolic reflector here, and we have solar field, and we have parabolic mirrors, this one. Okay. Then if the sun rays comes here, this is heat exchanger which exchanges heat, and this is heat transfer fluid, and these are the storage tank, thermal energy storage, this one TES you can say. And again we have heat exchanger when this fluid is converted into the steam with the help of these solar beam radiations, or you can say heat. Then thus this is heat exchanger, and we have steam convert. So this steam directly goes into turbines which run the generator and produce the electricity which can be passed through transmission line. So this is power transmission tower. This is power transmission tower. Power transmission tower. And we have condenser here, and we have cooling tower here. Why it is so? Because it so that our temperature doesn't go beyond our defined limits of the overall setup, and system is not burn out, or to reduce any kind of fault, or you can say damage, we have condenser and cooling towers also. So as it clear from the diagram itself, we require a large mechanical system for this process. Okay. So this is the pictorial representation of the parabolic trough system image, exact image. So this is the, you can see here. So these are mirrors. So next type is solar power tower system. So basically they are also known as central power tower. So power tower, they are also known as central tower. They are basically power plant or heliostat power plants. So basically these design capture and focus. These design basically capture and focus the sun thermal energy with thousands of tracking mirrors. So this is very important, thousands of tracking mirrors, and they are called heliostats. Thousands of tracking mirrors are combinedly known as heliostats, and they are roughly a 2 square miles field areas. They cover a roughly a 2 square mile field area. So a tower basically which resides in the center of the heliostat field, and the heliostat focus basically concentrated sunlight on the receiver which sit on top of the tower. Okay. So within the receiver, the concentrated sunlight heat the molten salt to over, you can say, 538 degrees Celsius, or you can say 1000 degree Fahrenheit. So this temperature is much more as compared to the normal boiling temperature of the water, that is 100 degrees Celsius. So the heated molten salt then flow into the thermal storage tank basically, and where it is stored and basically maintained a 98% thermal efficiency also, basically maintaining a efficiency which is around 98% and eventually pumped to a steam generator, which basically convert this steam into the electricity, which can be stored in the thermal energy storage system also for the later use when the sunlight availability is not there directly. You can say in evening or specifically in nights. So the steam driven, basically the steam drives a standard turbine to generate the electricity. So this is the solar power tower system image you can see here. So this is solar power tower and we have numbers of mirrors lying here. You can say these are number of mirrors which are lying there and their focal length is toward this tower, central point. Okay. So the third popular type of the solar thermal system, power generation system, is the solar dish, or you can say solar engine system. So if you talk about the working principle of this type of system, so here the system basically consists of a standalone parabolic reflector. The system basically consists of a standalone parabolic reflectors, parabolic in shape, and that basically concentrate the light onto a receiver which is positioned at the reflector focal point. Okay, and the working fluid in the receiver is basically heated up to 250 degree to 700 degrees Celsius, or you can say 523 to 973 Kelvin, or if you talk about in Fahrenheit term, 482 to around 300 Fahrenheit, or to be precise 1292 Fahrenheit, and they are basically then used to Stirling engine to generate power. Okay, so here the parabolic dish system have the highest efficiency of all the solar technology, provide solar to electric efficiency that is between 31 to 32% solar efficiency. So this is a pictorial diagram of the Stirling engine. So the concept is basically same. When the sunlight comes into a particular mirror, then it is concentrated toward some fluid, and the fluid is heated due to the sunlight concentrated power which is reflected by the mirrors, and that steam is used to run the turbines, and that is basically used to produce the electricity. So I am not going to tell you this Stirling engines. So this is the basic working principle of third types of solar thermal power system which is used for the electricity generation, and these all methods are the methods of renewable energy system. So we can produce our power according to our requirements. Okay. So the next one is, so this is the diagram of the solar dish engine system. This is the image. So you can see here we have a dish type, you can say DTS type dish here, but here we have some modules like this. Here you can see, and we have concentrator which concentrate the power at a particular point, and then it is converted into the electricity with the help of steam, and with the help of generator. Okay. So up to previous slide we have discussed about the three popular types of solar thermal power generation or basic concept of solar thermal power plants. Now before we conclude our today's video lectures, let us discuss about the advantage and disadvantages of the solar thermal energy. So first one is the no fuel cost. You can see here no fuel cost, because as in the starting of the video lecture I already told that sunlight is available free of cost abundantly. The only limitation is that our geographical location is such that the sun rays reach the earth surface, or you can say our solar thermal power generation station site, directly without any kind of hindrance, and this is predictable. This is another advantage. 24/7 power supply can be possible. Why it is so? The question arises, why it is so? So that is so with the help because of the thermal energy storage, TES. So when sun is not there, then we can store the energy in the thermal energy storage system as we discussed in the today's lecture itself, and then can be used when during the night hours. Okay, so no pollution and global warming effect is there, and basically using existing industrial base also. Okay, so no pollution is there and global warming effect are negligible, and this is the another advantage. And the fourth advantage is it basically use existing industrial base thermal generator which is run by the solar power. So obviously no one perfect in this world including human beings. So how can you say any technology don't have any kind of drawback? So what are the disadvantages of the solar thermal energy? So first one is the high cost. As we see in the diagrams of the previous slides also, the cost of the solar thermal power generation is very much high. Then the next point is the future technology has a high probability of making CSP obsolete. Okay. And next is the ecological and cultural issue are there. The next one is the limited location and size limitation is there. So we have, as we already discussed, that for the solar thermal power generation system, our location are limited, and you can see geographical constraints are there, and size limitation is also there, because many times we have a limitation of the size. So basically this size is measured compared to the output. So as compared to output, if we require thousands of megawatts of power, then we require a very big size area, maybe in kilometers range. So long gestation time leading to cost overrun. So the gestation time is long in this case, so leading to the overall operational cost high, or you can say cost overrun. Okay. So the last points of the today's video lecture is the major challenges. What are the major challenges? We have discussed about the advantages and disadvantages of a solar thermal power plant generation system, basic concepts. So what are the major challenges? So some of the major challenges are listed here. So let us discuss them one by one. The first major challenge is the installation cost. The installation cost is very much high as compared to the direct solar thermal. As you can say, as compared to direct solar plates energy generation system. Okay. Or you can say rooftop solar energy installation. And the energy storage cost is also high, because the size is bulky, heavy and larger in size. So maintenance cost is also very high, and the costs are still far higher than the fossil fuel, which are, you can say, conventional source of energy. But as we know, we have already discussed in our previous video lectures also, that these fossil fuels are, you can say, naturally available or God gifted. So we can't make them, or they require millions of years. So as compared to fossil fuel plants based on units of energy reduce, the cost is higher for this solar thermal energy generation. And another major challenge is the hot water storage products are often stretched to their limits. So this is another disadvantage. And the alternative could be phase change material, that is PCMs, phase change material. So how to use alternatively phase change material, or the, you can say, thermochemical material, TCM, thermochemical materials. So this is the major challenges, how to replace them with the help of this PCM or TCM. And the last major challenge which you can say you will face is that in addition to the sensible heat, the technology of the latent heat and the thermochemical energy storage are on their way to becoming very promising solution for the future of the solar heating and cooling. Okay, so this is the last major challenge you can say. And before we conclude our today's lecture, so just summarize, if I just summarize today's video lecture contents. So in today's video lectures, I basically discuss about the basic concept of solar energy, solar thermal power generation, and how to generate the electricity which can be basically used to run a industry, especially commercial purpose. Discuss here, and I have discussed 3 popular types of the solar thermal power plants in today's lectures, and then I discussed some of the advantages, some of the disadvantages of the solar thermal power generation system, and at last we discussed some of the major challenges. So as an educated engineers, as a civilized person of the society, it's our responsibility to overcome these major challenges and try something new with our full energy, with our full efforts in the R&D, research and development field of the solar thermal power plants. Okay students, so if you talk about the references which I refer, so these are the 3 references you can refer if you want to deep dive into the concept of the solar thermal power plants generation. So these 3 are the references, so you can refer these references, or you can even directly search on the some latest material available on the Google internet itself. Thank you students. That's all for today's lecture. Thanks again and Jai Hind.